what is the easiest role to play in Overwatch 2? The upper echelon of the community seems to believe that it is support. Being a support player myself, I can see where they're coming from with some of the characters in our lineup. I climbed to Grandmaster on every role to put this assumption to the test, and this is what I learned. Starting off with the tank role, I am confident that this one is out of the picture for this debate. You might not need to have the most insane aim for each and every one of these heroes, but you still have to understand the game to an extremely high level to consistently win. The mechanical skill required is still difficult to acquire, however, as you'll be required to efficiently juggle squishies on Winston, block shatters in a fraction of a second on Reinhardt, and I won't even get started with Doomfist. That being said, as someone that never really played characters like Winston consistently, it wasn't the hardest to pick up against players in Grandmaster. This isn't a flex, it's just the reality that you can get away with lackluster mechanics in this rank so long as you understand how to control space and play differently depending on what you have and the enemy as well. To a new player, this role is going to be very daunting with a high skill ceiling, but the more you learn the game, the easier it'll get for you. Moving on to the damage role, getting to GM surprised me a lot. It was exceptionally easy. You can look at my aim in all of these clips. It doesn't look like someone that just picked up a mouse, but it also doesn't look like a Kovacs Kyle that stays up till 5 a.m. terrorizing lobbies coked up on caffeine and Adderall. It just looks slightly above average. Not to mention, it's on Soldier 76, arguably the least difficult damage character to understand. It was as simple as taking high grounds and off angles when applicable and shooting the enemy consistently. No level of high communication was required, and I usually played a counter swap to overcome the disadvantage I am at with my poor mechanics. It just wasn't needed though in the 2 cards I played to get here. This could be a sign of the meta, but even aside from Soldier 76, the game felt similar on characters like Tracer and Genji too. Obviously, I have a deep bank of knowledge in the game from playing competitively for 7 years effectively, but it didn't feel as useful in Masters and Grandmasters lobbies as it did for the tank role. Lastly, support is my native role, and instead of discussing playing in top 100 lobbies, discussing my unranked to GMs makes more sense. The challenges that came along with support are like mashing tank and DPS together. You have arguably the most overtuned utility in the game, but it can be incredibly useless if you don't know how to use them efficiently, heal your team the entire game, or if you miss the crucial shots of damage required to win. While it is not as mechanically demanding as the damage role, it still generally requires more out of you compared to tank so long as you are playing characters that aren't Moira, Mercy, and Brigitte. So after all of this playtime, what role is the easiest to play in Overwatch? It depends. You really have to ask yourself what easy even means. Is easy comparable to climbing to GM or top 500? Is it how easy it is for someone that has never played the game to pick up the role? Or is it how easy it is for someone to make it to the Overwatch League? Or whatever that's gonna be in a month or two. Who knows at this point? To me, it's the second option. To someone that has never seen or heard about Overwatch, what role is the easiest to pick up? Overwatch is a very deep game, but it is also a game that is really hard to aim in if you have never played an FPS before. If you have prior FPS experience, your best bet is to just pick up DPS and go on from there, because all you need to do is deal damage consistently better on most heroes to climb in the long run. If you are completely fresh, it really comes down to what you are good at. In a way, there is no easiest role. Are you not the best aimer but have a knack for learning the deep fundamentals of the game along with niche mechanics? Tank is for you. Do you have crazy aim and just want to consistently outplay your enemies that way? Play DPS. Do you have some experience in other games but not enough to beat all of those other cracked DPS players? Then using the utility and support to make up for this shortcoming is the option for you. At the end of the day, every single role is going to be hard to get to a professional level, so why does it matter what character is easiest to play or not? Comparing yourself to others in different positions isn't going to make you any happier. It is only going to make your accomplishments feel meaningless and hold you back from reaching your full potential. Every role has their own challenges that are difficult to overcome in their own way. DPS is difficult for me to be consistent due to my subpar mechanics, but I am sure there is one dude on Adderall that doesn't have any space in his brain to think about where he should place himself to find consistent anti-nades, making support the hardest role for him. It is all about perspective here. While I've already made the poll on my YouTube channel and as well on Twitter, I'm curious as to what you all think the hardest role in the game is. Thank you all so much for watching, but until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.